4 million people, women are more likely than men to develop one of these diseases. This information comes from A&D from 2013, which was an article I found on the internet. And you guys may or may not know somebody who suffers from an eating disorder. As for me, I personally don't. But I've become interested in this topic from school, during high school, from my health class. And I'm going to inform you guys today about the 3 main types of eating disorders, their signs and symptoms, and also the treatment plans. First, we will be talking about the 3 main types of eating disorders, the first one being anorexia. And as you can tell from this picture, anorexia, you pretty much starve yourself to death, because when you look in the mirror, even though your bones are showing and you may look disgusting to other people, when they look in the mirror, they see themselves as being fat and ugly, which they obviously aren't. Now, when they eat food throughout the day, they're only consuming very small portions, and the amount of calories that they're intaking, they are losing from the amount of exercise that they have, because they're exercising like 5 hours a day, which is a crazy amount. And so 9 out of 10 people in the United States that develop this disease of anorexia are female, and 1 in 100 women in the US actually get this disease. And they also develop peculiar rituals, such as not eating in front of people and arranging their food on their plate. And they mainly do this just so that it looks like they're eating more than what they actually are, because they don't want people asking them, why are you guys, why are you not eating? You should be eating more than what you actually are. Next, we will talk about bulimia, which is pretty much the opposite of anorexia. And bulimia is where you consume large amounts of food, but you will purge, which means you'll either throw it up, or you'll exercise, or you'll use laxatives so that you're getting rid of all the food that you ate. And then they will binge, because food is a feeling of comfort to people, and after they binge, they feel afraid, they feel ashamed of themselves, because they're telling themselves, their mind is telling themselves, you shouldn't have ate all that food, but they did, because obviously they were hungry. And the last one is binge eating. And this information comes from Binge Eating Disorder from April 3rd of 2012. And with this disease, they will eat uncontrollably and gain weight, and they will eat beyond being full. So it's kind of like a loss of control. They just don't have a control over how much they are actually eating. And they don't binge like bulimics do. So, they're kind of similar, but not exactly. Next, we will talk about the signs and symptoms of these diseases. And some of the signs of anorexia are they'll have a strict diet, they'll use laxatives and compulsive exercising, and then they'll use Adderall, because it suppresses your appetite, and since they only eat such small portions, they're going to be hungry, so this Adderall will make them not want to eat. Then a sign of bulimia is obviously going to the bathroom after you're eating, because that's when they will make themselves puke up what they just ate. And then binging and hoarding their food is a sign of both binge eating and bulimia. Some symptoms of anorexia are fatigue, dizziness, and fainting, because they're not getting the amount of food that they need throughout the day. And then also brittle nails and hair thinning, because they aren't getting the nutrients that we should be getting throughout the day. Then along with hunger denial and excessive exercising and refusal to eat. Some symptoms of bulimia are abnormal bowel movements, hiding their food in wrappers, because it's just kind of telling themselves oh, I didn't eat this food, but in all reality they did. The last thing we'll talk about is some treatment plans. Now, the first step to getting treatment is for asking for help, because these people who develop these diseases are going to be scared and embarrassed and ashamed of themselves, because they're not like everybody else. The second is to find a specialist, who can be a primary care doctor, a nurse, local hospitals, or the National Eating Disorder Association. The third step is to address your health problems. And the fourth is to make long-term treatment plans, which include inpatient care, group therapy, family therapy, eating disorder education, nutritional counseling, and obviously there's going to be a lot more different steps that you can take for this too. You can also develop coping skills which will help you throughout your therapy and even afterwards. And this includes anything that makes you happy. So talking to your friends, your family, listening to music, or reading books. So in conclusion, eating disorders are a serious thing, and I informed you guys on the 3 types of eating disorders, their signs and symptoms, and treatment plans, because if you guys do know somebody, you need to get them help. And just remember that there are 24 million people in the United States today that suffer from these diseases, and women develop these more than men do. Do you guys have